Welcome back to the channel for another video on our 22 WRX. I don't know what's going on, but when I was installing these upper control arms last week, when I was adjusting the toe, because I've played with the alignment just a little bit, so I will show you the camber gauge and everything that I use to help align the car. But when I went to adjust the toe on our passenger side, I noticed something didn't look right. So let's get this wheel taken off, we'll get it jacked up again, and I'll show you what I saw, and I'll show you what we got to fix it. Let's go. All right, so we got the wheel taken off. I got the light shined on so you guys can see this, but when I was adjusting our toe arm right here, I was noticing that I couldn't, oh, the shadow's right there. But yeah, I noticed I couldn't really get to this adjustment here, really from any side. And then looking a little closer, I was looking at this arm and I see this kink. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I checked the other side and sure enough, this thing has bent. So I don't know when this happened, but at some point this arm got bent, and I have no clue how. This car has never been in any accident, has never had anything ever happen to it. So on this side right here, when I first put these camber arms on, I told you guys that I had the camber set all the way in. So I rolled the car back and it chewed the inner liner here. So if you guys were wondering what that is, that's why that's a little frayed there. But this right here, I mean, that is a clear bend and a kink. I mean, did someone like hit the car? Like, did someone hit the wheel? Like, I don't know, looking at the wheel, I don't see any like markings on it that like would indicate that the wheel was hit or anything, but I mean, how do you bend a trailing arm like that? Like, so that's what this part is. This is our rear trailing arm. So I do have just another stock one for us. Now, Cusco does sell adjustable arms as well. I just didn't really think we needed to get more adjustable arms on this car. I just wanted to get another OEM arm. So I just went directly from Subaru. There's the part number. So I did get the part number online, and then I just called my local Subaru, and they had one in stock for us, and it is the same on both sides. So either side is interchangeable, but yeah, definitely want to get this replaced with the correct part that's not bent before we go back for our final alignment with our new upper control arms. So before we get that swapped out, I wanted to show you guys the camber gauge that I use to set our alignment. And that is right here. This little thing is how I dialed in the camber on both sides. So basically you stick it to the hub and you get it level, and it tells you what you're at. So we're not at 7 degrees because the car is in the air and suspension's on full droop. But that's how you would check it. So when you do adjust it, it does change pretty quickly. So when you start spinning these turnbuckles, you can just physically see the number here. So what I was doing was basically matching each side, making sure the sides were good, and then just trying to dial in the toe as good as I can with these toe plates. Now, I'm not gonna do a whole video on just these toe plates because I'm sure there's a bunch of videos on how to use these correctly, and I am no expert at using these toe plates yet, but basically you set them in front of the tire. You would set them in front of the tire, and they have these like standoffs that will then touch the lip, and then you just measure all the way to the other side, and you want both sides to read the same, and then you know your toe's at 0. So it was actually quite a pain in the butt to get the toe aligned enough that the steering wheel was straight, and the car drives pretty much straight, but I mean that's with this bent arm. So we're gonna have to redo everything on this side in this video. So stay tuned for that. You will see us use some of these parts. But enough talking. Let's get this trailing arm taken off. We'll get the new one thrown on. And we'll do a side-by-side comparison just to see how bent this thing is. But put down in the comments below of how you think this arm was bent. I mean, the car's never, it's never hit any pothole really that I can think of. No curb, no nothing. It just folded that arm. So is it just weak, or was it just like a manufacturer defect? I don't know what's going on, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. But let's get this part swapped out. All right, and we have our broken trailing arm next to our brand new OEM one. So just looking at it, you can see that the paint obviously chipped where it like bowed out, but usually you can tell how like long ago like this happened, like if it's like rusting where it like the paint went away. But since it's like it looks fresh, but yeah, I'm not sure how this thing got bent, because like I said before, the car's never been in an accident. It's really never hitting any crazy pothole. Of course, like you have potholes around town and everything, but I mean, I look back at the footage too, like for the last couple of videos, and I mean, it wasn't like, I couldn't tell if it was bent in the last video because I guess I didn't have any good close-ups of underneath of the arm. But we did like an exhaust video recently with the new Cobb titanium, and in all those pictures that I have underneath the car, this arm is perfectly straight and it doesn't have a bend. And that was literally just a few weeks ago. So I'm really not sure when this happened. I do know when we were getting the alignment guy did say he couldn't adjust the toe on this side. He couldn't tighten it. He told me when I get home, take the wheel off and then tighten that one adjustment. So I went ahead and did that, and I didn't even notice this, honestly. And I didn't even notice it until the whole video was done on our upper control arm that we installed in our last video. I didn't even notice it when we installed that. I noticed it when I started to try to align it a little bit better with our camber gauge and our toe plates here. That's when I noticed that this thing was severely bent. But like looking at the overall like length and everything, so if you match up the bushing hole with there, I mean, it was only off, I mean, just a hair. So I'm not sure how much this affected the alignment, but just knowing that we have a broken part on the car, I mean, it had to get replaced with a brand new part. So let's get this thrown on, and let's just forget about this bad memory, and hopefully this doesn't happen again. But I'm really leaning towards that. I mean, maybe someone like backed into the car or something in a parking lot, and it was just enough to like where it like nicked the tire, not the rim, and it just bent this arm. So I'm like, maybe someone hit the car. I don't know, but let's get this new one thrown on, and we'll get the alignment adjusted just a little bit so we can drive the car again. Let's go. All right, and our new trailing arm is installed, nice and straight, and well, it has that natural curve in it, but no crazy bend in it. And we got the, what is this, our e-brake cable bolted on back to the same spot. And then I do have our camber gauge on here just to make sure that our camber adjustment didn't change. And granted, we're not at 7, we're more like 3.5 when the car's on the ground, but oh, it just changed because I was messing with it. But so just knowing that we replaced that arm and it didn't change our camber adjustment, The main thing that the trailing arm does adjust is our caster. Caster is non-adjustable on this car currently, but if you were to buy an aftermarket adjustable arm, just like our nice Cusco ones up here, you would be able to adjust the caster. But we don't need to adjust caster on this car, just camber and toe. Knowing that we just replaced that, our toe is the same, and our camber is the same, because if the toe is changed, our camber is changed as well. But since everything is the same, we are good to go. Our alignment for the upper control arms, we're going to get dialed in on Friday at Wilmington Tire and Auto again. Wilmington Tire and Auto has really come in the clutch as far as just getting the car aligned properly and giving me the correct recommendations on what to do to get the car aligned properly. Because when we were there last time, the guy mentioned the upper control arms and just brought to attention that we were only adjusting the bottom of the wheel. We weren't adjusting the top. Now we can adjust the top and the bottom. So we have the top pulled in, we have the bottom pulled in. So now we're just a little sunk in the back. No more rubbing on the couple test drives I did. So now, since no suspension parts are damaged and everything is installed and tight, we're good to go for Friday. But I'm just gonna get this wheel put on, and the car is basically just gonna sit for just like 2 days, 2-3 days. Today's Tuesday, so yeah, it's gonna sit for 3 days until we can get this alignment. I really don't wanna chew through these tires like what we did with the last ones. I really wanna give these tires a good chance to live with a correct alignment, because if you guys have had a bad alignment before, you know how fast you can eat through tires. So I really want to test these tires out. So once we get this alignment dialed in, we'll be able to do some more testing. But until next time, see you guys. And before closing this video out, I wanted to show you guys the finished results. So we did go back to Wilmington Tire and Auto. They did get everything realigned perfectly in the back. So now we are driving straight. No rubbing, no nothing. I have taken this on a couple back roads, aggressive like twisties, tried to like make it rub, and there is no rubbing. So I am very happy with the fitment now, and obviously doesn't rub, so we're good to go. Really excited to test these tires out, but until next time, see you guys.